Let's look at today's question. Please explain the Pareto principle. Well, this isn't anything to do with psychology, and I'm not sure why I'm answering it, if I'm quite honest. But it does seem that the question has come up about 12 times. So the Pareto principle is also known as the 80-20 rule, and it states that 80% of outcomes result in 20% of causes. In other words, only a very small minority of causes effectuate the vast majority of outcomes. But how can that be? And how is it determined? Well, history lesson time. The principle is named after the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who first consciously observed the phenomenon in 1896. And he observed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by only 20% of the population. Now, interestingly, he also observed the same dynamic operating in his garden. 20% of his plants were bearing 80% of the fruit. So he started extrapolating and looking at everything from monetary wealth to company sales income and all of that. Now, obviously, it's not a formal mathematical equation by any means. Rather, I suppose it's a theory based on common phenomenon. And it can be observed through our experience of reality. Now, it's also known as the rule of the vital few and the rule of the trivial many. So, for example, the Pareto principle can be seen in cases where 80% of a company's actual profit comes from 20% of its customers, as well as during a sports event, where 80% of points or goals are scored by 20% of the players. So, there are examples of this phenomenon in virtually every single industry. And the Pareto principle has often proven useful, I suppose, in terms of helping people in the world of business prioritize certain actions in order to maximize their results. It can help increase our general productivity by allowing us to focus on tasks or strategies and initiatives that can have the greatest impact to the business, knowing that the other 80% of tasks are of quite minor consequence. Now, of course, it also helps to identify an entity's best asset or their best assets. Now, whether that's people or machinery or whatever, in order to utilize them to the utmost value. And business managers from a wide variety of industries do use the principle to help narrow and direct their focus and get the most productivity from their people, from their clients, from their machinery. Now, whilst the Pareto principle can certainly be observed, it's not at all based in science, and it can't be scientifically proven, and so it remains an axiom or a pre-scientific assumption. Now, even if there is a lot of anecdotal evidence for the rule, we can't replicate or reproduce it accurately enough in control settings for it to be a scientific principle. But nonetheless, it would be hard to deny the success of the application because it's very well documented, and I suppose it really speaks for itself, doesn't it? And that's what's important. Yes, it's not scientifically proven, but it's there. I'm ready. What's today's question? No, I'm not answering. I'm not in the mood for this bullshit. I'm not answering this question. I'll answer it tomorrow. No, definitely not. Give me another question. This isn't psychology. Okay, fine. This isn't psychology, but fine. Let's do it.